case you were wondering what on earth is this all about, it is about this dude.
I can't thank y'all enough. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here. We at the fucking Breezy Bowl. Now last night was something real special. But I have to say tonight, y'all tore that motherfucker up. I wish this night could last forever. But you know how I get out, so we just do it like this.
And if you're wondering some more, okay, Clantis, what's happening here? So as you would know, South Africa, when it comes to December, it is not necessarily a month, it is a vibe here. And Chris Brown couldn't have come to South Africa at the best time of the year around the world, right here at home on our soils in South Africa, clearly where he is highly loved. Now, I know that Chris Brown has a history, and this video is not to evoke any emotions and people who stand against GBV and things like that. Yes, but this video is not about that. I understand and I know his background, and I believe that he has worked his hardest to show that he's a changed man. Yes, so we heard other reports about him losing his temper. I think somewhere as well I saw a report where it said that he struggles with anger management. All right, but this video is not about that. This video, it is about the content that I've been posting on this channel for the longest time. As you already know, that this channel, it is all about South Africa, Africans, as well as the African diaspora and African Americans. And I'm not talking about the foundational Black Americans. Yeah, you and your mental health. Okay, cool. Please, this is not about you. So don't insert yourself in this video, because it's not about you. You don't recognize us, so we don't recognize you too. So keep scrolling. Now let's come back to us Black people and of African descent, whether you are African American, British African, or Canadian African, Australian African, whoever you are. This is our moment to prove to what we've been talking about on this channel for the longest time. And I've said this before on this very channel that I find it a little bit disturbing that our African diaspora celebrities are not showing up in this discussion. They do show up in organized meetings, organized concerts, or organized conferences where they only do talk shop. But we don't necessarily see them on the ground assisting the general public like you and me who want this gap to be bridged that was caused by colonialists, slave people that stole our brothers and sisters from Africa to the parts of the world where today they have citizenship or some kind of roots. And we want to come back together. We want to build something together. And this concert, for me, proves how much Africans, okay, again, I do not want to speak for every African person. Let me leave it, or let me just keep it to South Africa. I've told you guys before that in South Africa, for the longest time, since I was born, our standard of beauty was always African Americans. Believe it or not, ask any Black South African that grew up in the 90s. When you looked a certain way, if you're a man and you were beautiful or handsome, yes, because of what Hollywood also fed us, that this is how an African American looks like. An African American never looked like how I look and how other ordinary South African look like. So if you looked handsome and you had like a certain look about you, they always said, this is a compliment, you look like an American. That means you are handsome if you're a guy. If you were a woman with nice straight hair, whether it is relaxed or it's naturally straight and you're a black person, they will say, oh my goodness, you look like an African American woman. Basically, you will never say African American because this is a term we recently learned as well, probably in the past 25 years or so. We've always known you guys as Black Americans. That's how we've always known you. So they were like, oh my goodness, you look like a Black American lady. Again, this is a compliment to the lady that you look beautiful and you got beautiful hair, etc. and so on. All right. I've talked about this before. And of course, the new generation guys may not necessarily understand this, but leave it to us, the Gen Xers and the millennials, because that used to be our language. All right. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that the Chris Brown concert basically proved almost everything that I've said on this channel regarding how South Africans, Black South Africans, always looked up to. Again, this is an exclusion of any South African who is Black who never did this. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. So don't come into my comments and say, not all of us. Yes, not all of us. I agree. But a lot of us, and I will once again make this a generational thing, Gen Xers and millennials, probably even baby boomers as well, because when I came into this earth, my parents were already listening to Michael Jackson, to what is his name, Billy Ocean, the BG, you name them, all that group in the artists of the 1970s, 60s. I heard that music and I saw the fashion style, bell bottoms, afros, and big goggle, whatever that fashion was called. I think it's called 70s fashion. I don't know what it was called. And my mom used to wear that, and she would wear these big platform boots, red in color. She had them in 3 different colors, I think yellow, red, and black. And she had an afro. Again, when they talked amongst each other, they always referred to each other like, oh my goodness, we look like Black Americans. So if anybody ever told you that South Africans, Black South Africans don't like you, it's a pathological lie. Let's put that one up front. It is a pathological lie. We've never, ever, as Black South Africans, ever hated or disliked African Americans. You do not mimic or aspire to or inspired by African Americans in terms of music, fashion, well, these days as well, even accent. Sometimes I get confused to be an American. And I've explained this story. I've told this story before, why I have the accent that I have, because, okay, anyways, go to those videos. You will understand why I talk the way I do. I try my level best to sound as South African as possible. But, of course, anyways, it's not about me. The point here is Chris Brown just proved exactly what I've been saying, because when you look at that stadium, it sits 94,734 people. And it was filled twice in 2 nights consecutively. And outside of that stadium, you had over 50,000 people who could not enter the stadium either. When it was announced that Chris Brown is coming to South Africa to perform on the 14th of December, 2 hours it took for those tickets to be sold out. By the time we heard the news, I was like, excuse me, what? And then when you went to the website where they were saying, you couldn't access it because the tickets were sold out. Because the tickets were sold out, many South Africans were like, hold on a minute. Nah. 2 nights only. Not 1 night only. I know I have a terrible voice, but 2 nights. And then they obliged the Chris Brown crew. And then we had 2 nights, Friday, or was it Saturday and Sunday, if I remember correctly. And all these 2 concerts, the FNB Stadium was filled to capacity. Now, I don't know if you know that the FNB Stadium is the fourth largest stadium in the world, the biggest in Africa, the FNB Stadium. When you go in there, it's like you are in a planet. All right? I'm sure you are seeing the visuals in this video as I speak. Outside of that, 50 or more than 50,000 other people were out there. So this means, all in all, and I am making an assumption here, there were probably over 200,000 people, maybe over 250,000 people that had come to see Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown was not only seen as an artist, the greatest probably of all time since Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, maybe even Beyonce, even though South Africans are beginning to say, wait a minute, Beyonce came to South Africa and she robbed us. Well, that's a video for another day. But the point is, Chris Brown was not only or is not only supported by Black South Africans, white South Africans, as well as other race South Africans, because he is an artist, but also because he's Black. And you know, as South Africans, we are the biggest supporters of Black businesses. As long as the business is legitimate, you will get all the support in the world. This we've talked about on this very channel before. And yes, there were pushback about him being banned coming to South Africa because of what happened in 2009 with Rihanna, etc. and so on. But South Africans will tell you, listen, we are not perfect. None of us are. Most of us have a past. You may have not experienced this before, but you have experienced some level of anger before and threw hands at somebody. But because you were not in the public eye, nobody knows your past. So South Africans, as you already know, we are a forgiving nation. Yes, we are. If we were not a forgiving nation, today, in South Africa, the people that oppressed us, the people that made sure that us Black people did not amount to anything in the world but remain subhumans. If we did not forgive them, they wouldn't be here today. We decided and took a path of forgiveness, God's very nature, love and forgiveness. So this is not surprising that Chris Brown, with such a past, would be forgiven by South Africans and South Africans in when this concert was publicized and shocked me. I'm still like, wait a minute. You're telling me Chris Brown has never performed at the Super Bowl before? You're telling me that Chris Brown has not performed in major American Music Awards since when? I was shocked. I am shocked at the commentaries like these ones.
To be able to sell out the largest stadium in Africa, not one time, but 2 times, y'all was not playing no game.
I wish this night could last forever.
I just want to say this to all the American haters and all the foundational Black Americans that swear Africans don't fuck with us. Chris Brown just sold out FNB Stadium in Johannesburg, South Africa, 94,000 seats, which seats more than the Super Bowl. America tried everything they could to break this man, and he still prevailed. He is selling out a stadium that's bigger than any Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls. And quote-unquote South Africa is quote-unquote a third world country to the west. Let's let that sink in for a second. Africa loves us. Our stars are amazing. And America's full of shit sometimes.
So a lot of people are reacting to the video that I posted yesterday in regards to Chris Brown selling out 2 nights in a row in South Africa's largest stadium, probably the largest stadium in Africa, the FNB Stadium, 2 nights in a row. Apparently he sold out in just 2 hours. People are also still reacting to how I reported that here in America, a lot of people have canceled Chris Brown, but Also, it should be noted that Chris Brown had a very successful tour here in America as well. But there have been a lot of conversations on Chris Brown should do the Super Bowl. Chris Brown should do the Super Bowl. His 2 sold-out performances in South Africa honestly beats out the Super Bowl. That's 94,000 people that were in attendance there. Honestly, I wonder if they recorded it so that they can, at least feature it on streaming platforms later.
And big up to all the besties in South Africa for the way that y'all really showed up and showed out for our whole weed hottie. To be able to sell out the largest stadium in Africa, not one time, but 2 times, y'all was not playing no games. This just fills my khaki heart with so much glee, especially because not only did y'all fill the stadium, word on the social media curve is that tens of thousands of people proceeded to stand outside of the stadium singing along and enjoying the concert from outside the club. The other thing that just is so refreshing about monumental moments like this is that it really shows that the hate that sheeple spread online, it does not translate to real life. This was such a beautiful celebration of this man's talent, the legacy that he has built, the artwork that he has given us throughout the years. And what's truly so inspiring about moments like this is that you see the real manifestation of what is for you, no man can take from you.
Chris Brown just sold out the 4th largest stadium in the world. Twice. 2 times. The stadium is the FNB Stadium, and it holds 94,736 people. It's in South Africa, and he sold that out. Look at this. Packed to the brim. And I love this because I'm an advocate in going where you are loved and appreciated. This man is from Virginia in the USA and is packing out shows in South Africa. That is insane. And he put on one hell of a show. This man performed 50 songs for the Breezy Bowl, and probably 39 of them had choreo that he had to remember with the dancers. But my favorite part is that he ended with forever, and it's because in the lyrics it say, it's like I waited my whole life for this one night, and so now it's his one night to give y'all a show.
I'm gonna wait my whole life for this type of moment, man.
He called it the Breezy Bowl because they'll probably never let him do the Super Bowl or any other award show. You see, he was supposed to do the AMAs and they took it away. I'm still mad about that. That Michael Jackson tribute would have been crazy on the AMAs, but it's cool. If they don't want to give you a seat at the table, make your own table.
Guys, for all of us who went to the Chris Brown concert, can we please gather here for 2 seconds? I'm probably going to delete this later, but it needs to be said. Chris Brown, I miss you. Okay, I know everybody was talking about the post-Breezy Bowl depression that is settling in, and honey, it is so real. I genuinely felt so sad when I was leaving the stadium because I was like, oh my gosh, when am I going to see him again with my own 2 eyes? First of all, that performance was insane. It was utterly out of this world, and I don't think we paid enough. However, Christopher Maurice Brown, I'm going to need you to move to South Africa because why are you leaving?
So I just saw Chris Brown performance in South Africa, and to be honest, it is very good. I loved everything about that performance. Just the fact that there were string attached to him and he was flying all over the stadium, it's very amazing and appealing to watch. The organizers of this show must have put in a lot of money to make this come out like this. In fact, the concert was very good. It had so much colors. In fact, I think that is why they call South Africans the Rainbow Nation. The stadium was very good. The decoration was top-notch. South Africans made history by hosting Chris Brown. And to be honest, Chris Brown performed 20 songs in that concert. I have seen places where we bring people from other places in Africa and even America. We bring them to our African country and then we pay them huge amount of money for them to come and perform for 5 minutes. This time, Chris Brown has made a lot of money in Africa, but again, he did do something great. He performed 20 songs. Can you imagine? South Africans don't joke. They tell you if you're coming here to eat our money, you must impress us very well. So kudos to you, South Africans. Kudos to the organizers of this show. The show was good. It was massive and it was filled out. In fact, some people were still standing outside begging to even peek to see Chris Brown. Congratulations to you, South Africans. Next time, we are going to host an African and we are going to show a lot of love to that African.
I just fucking love this for him. And I love the fact that they won't let him perform at the Super Bowl here. So South Africa was like, okay, fuck y'all, we got him. We'll give him something bigger than the motherfucking Super Bowl. Honestly, don't care what nobody has to say. He deserved this fucking moment. And if we're being honest, he should have been had this moment. But sadly, his own motherfucking country won't show up and show love like he fucking deserves. They won't allow it. It's bullshit. Yes, he has a fucking past. Okay, so does everybody in the motherfucking industry. Half of them are still doing fucked up ass shit, but they are not crucifying them like they're crucifying this man. He deserved his motherfucking flowers, and South Africa gave him that shit. He sold that shit out 2 nights in a motherfucking row. 94,000 people each fucking night, and that's not including the people that were outside. So, well over 200,000 motherfucking people in 2 nights is insane. Stop playing with this man.
Chris Brown pulled up to South Africa yesterday and said, if your name ain't Beyonce, get the fuck out of my face. So, over the weekend, Chris Brown took his 11/11 tour international, South Africa. 92,000 seats this boy sold out for one show, and he did it twice. Back-to-back shows, 92,000 seats. I need y'all to comprehend how many people that truly is. Like, that's not no baseball arena. That's not no football stadium. It's like a soccer stadium. Like, you feel me? Like, that's like they play soccer in those type of places. 92,000 people. That is Madison Square Garden 4.5 times. The Garden holds 20,000 for a concert. So that is 4.5 Madison Square Garden Chris Brown concerts he did in one night in South Africa. Christopher, you're not playing with him. And there's only one person on the planet that can beat you. Her name is Beyonce Knowles Carter. Beyonce Knowles Carter. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sean. Let's just call it like it is. Chris Brown is standing on the backs of many great black men. Bobby Brown, James Brown, Usher, Michael Jackson. They all laid the foundation for you, bro. But he might be reaching Michael levels. I say that because Michael was like the first person to go around the planet and be like, yo, everywhere he goes, he's famous, and it's like 100,000 people outside. Apparently, he has 2 shows back-to-back, 42,000 seats sold out already. Like, Chris Brown is reminding y'all, there was a reason why I was on a certain trajectory before I accidentally smacked a bitch.
Now, I can tell these people always supported Chris Brown, always loved Chris Brown, and also probably have spoken about the act of forgiveness before. But I'm a little bit disturbed that the United States, the great United States of America, that you guys can hold a grudge for this long. Yes, we did have South Africans, and we still do have South Africans that are holding a grudge of what happened between him and Rihanna. Now, my take is I am not a supporter of a man that abuses women under any circumstances. Now, for me, what's important is the victim. What does she do thereafter? I understand that Chris Brown went through a court process, and I don't know if he was found guilty, but the victim came back and said, listen, I forgive him. And she's moved on from that situation ever since. So if she can forgive, who am I? Who are we? Right? Chris Brown, I'm sure he does have a relationship with God. At this point for me, what he did in 2009 and his relationship with God, that's between the two of them, not me included. And I think many South Africans are thinking along the same lines. And I know there are going to be those that will refuse to believe this. At the end of the day, God is the greatest more than we can. The greatest. And so I will leave that one to God's hands. I am here as a human being. I don't know tomorrow what I might do, and seek forgiveness. And I would expect some level of forgiveness, right? So I just want to address that part. But the part that is most important for me is the great support that South Africans have for Black Americans. Again, not all of us, because I've seen some Black South Africans having issues, but they are just a drop in the ocean. When I say a drop, a drizzle drop in the ocean. They don't represent us. They don't represent what we believe in. They don't represent this journey that you and I, as a Black South African and an African, and the African diaspora, which includes African Americans, again, foundational Black Americans, Don't insert yourself. You're not invited. This is not about you. You don't like us. Well, we like you, but step aside. This is not about you. Don't even comment with your delusion. And going on with Canadians who are black and British and all wherever black people are, Caribbean islands as a whole, because I have been seeing a lot of Caribbeans coming to South Africa as well. Guys, thank you. We love you, and come some more. Please, whatever you do, you are very much welcomed. And this is a demonstration of how much we Black South Africans love you guys, our brothers and sisters. Yes, there is a lot going on. And in my previous video, I did come quite strong about the shenanigans that are being perpetuated by some of our people against our people by selling things that they shouldn't be selling to our children and forcefully taking our children and forcing them into prostitution. Those are the black people I will not support, and I will speak against them, especially when they are trying to destroy my country's people and the future of this country. I will talk, and I will not be afraid to speak my truth and calling them out. Right? But at the end of the day, there is a journey that we are all part of. And I believe, yes, I know I might be using the concert as an opportunistic point of view, but it's still a point of view of proving the things that I've been saying on this channel. Trust and believe me, if Usher or who else that is, well, let me just put it this way, any African American artists that comes to South Africa and says, I'm having a concert at FNB Stadium, that person will be sold out. Tamia was here, sold out. Who else was recently here? Music Soul Child, sold out. There's a lot of artists, African-American artists that have been here. But one thing that I've noticed since looking at Chris Brown concert is how safe they were being. They were holding concerts in like mini big arenas. Maybe the arena will take something like 10,000 spectators. No more than that, because they probably were afraid that the tickets will not sell out or not sell at all. They underestimated our love for them. South Africa, every single Sunday, you can go to any Black South African home, whether in the rural, in the townships, even in the urban as well as suburbs. Guess what music we are playing? Take a wild guess what music we are playing. If you're an African American living in South Africa, please don't say anything, because you already know that R&B, soul music, the blues, and American jazz, that's what you are going to hear coming out of our radios, and including our radio stations. If you are not going to play R&B on Sunday, what are you doing with your life? What South African is going to listen to that radio station on Sunday? Yes, we will listen to gospel in the morning, but hit 9 a.m. all the way till 12 midnight on a Sunday. All we want to hear is R&B. And guess where this R&B is coming from? Yup, you got it. America. So as an African-American musician, I saw Eric Benet, I think with Joe, they will be holding a concert in the US. But you can tell that they are going to small venues. I will encourage you guys to also come to South Africa. Come to South Africa, take a chance on FNB Stadium. You will come back and say, Clantis, thank you. And I'll say, you're welcome anytime. That is who we are. And now coming back to this whole generational thing, until I saw this concert, thought, wait a minute, you are telling me even Gen Zs and Alpha Gens who are now of age filled up the FNB Stadium? Okay, fine. Chris Brown is a young person. They are young, and obviously they are going to gravitate towards his music, his style, etc., and so on. But I also seen that they kind of follow the same path as some of us who are Gen X's and millennials who looked up and still look up to African American artists. Them too did the same thing. They are the ones that are replying to African Americans that are a little bit shocked at the history that was made by Chris Brown in South Africa, because that's exactly what he did. He made history. And I am sure many African American artists, after seeing Chris Brown's concert, they are probably planning right now to come to South Africa. And I would say to you, you are on the right path. But I must also warn you, it is going to depend on the time of year you come to South Africa. December is the best. I'm just letting you know. December is the best time to come to South Africa. Because in December, South Africans lose their minds. We want to be entertained. We just got paid bonuses. Yes, I understand that in America, y'all get paid a salary every 2 weeks. In South Africa, it is every month, end of the month. In fact, there are 3 paydays in South Africa: the 25th, the 27th, and the 30th. I saw an African American video. Somebody was asking what, I think they came to South Africa around the end of the month. I think that it was on the 1st when they got here, and they needed to withdraw some money, and they saw queues of people lined up to an ATM machine. That means they got paid, those people at the ATM. Yes, we fill up our ATMs at the end of the month because of various responsibilities that we have, which also includes black tax. We are depositing money to family members back home where we were raised. That's what we're using ATMs for. Yes, our banking system in most cases is online. We can do things at the comfort of our home, but there are some things that we need to do at the ATM, and you will find queues and queues and queues of people. So in December, we get what you call a 13th check, and that is when we go berserk in December. That's why we don't call December a month. It's a vibe. In December, if you are in a relationship and your relationship is a little rocky, and maybe your relationship is not as strong as you thought it was, you better hold on to your girlfriend, better hold on to your boyfriend, because the next time you are going to see them, it'll be probably mid-January, coming with their tail between their leg to beg for forgiveness for absconding on you. Probably you also absconded on them. They thought they were ghosting you, but you already planned as well, like, well, you ghost me while I ghost you too. And then when we come back mid-January, both of us will be having our tails between our legs. And this is no joke, what I'm telling you. You better hold on to that relationship before December comes. Most breakups in South Africa and even divorces happens in December, or the root cause is going to be December. I'm just showing you why I believe Chris Brown couldn't have come at the better time. He came on the 14th of December, and South African official holiday where the country kind of like shuts down. I know in Americans that are living in South Africa, they'll be like, wait a minute, do you understand how many billions you are losing for shutting down the country in this? We understand, we know that, but we're not coming. We are not coming. So the point I'm making is that he couldn't have come at a better time, because that weekend, it was a long weekend. On Monday, we had a public holiday. So Saturday, great. People went to Chris Brown's concert. Sunday, people also went to Chris Brown's concert. They did not have to worry about waking up on Monday to work or anything like that. The 16th of December was a public holiday, and South Africans to this very day, today, it is 7 days later since Chris Brown was in South Africa. I deliberately did not make a video because I felt like let the dust settle and then we'll talk about what I've been saying on this channel about this journey that we are on, you and me and other African diasporans. And to also show you and prove to you that as an African American, Caribbean, British, Canadian, Australian, wherever Black people are at, you are welcomed to South Africa with open arms, unreservedly, unconditionally. You are welcome home, and you are going to fit it. You are going to have separation anxiety like I always do when you guys leave. I always feel like I'm losing a part of me, like, oh my gosh, are you going to be okay as you leave? Are you sure? That's the question I constantly ask, because I know that a part of me, when you leave, is going to get sad as the plane approaches your country's airport, where reality for you begins to hit. And that is why when you are here, we will bomb you with love, genuinely bomb you with love, because we want you to feel that at any given time, when you feel like, I'm losing it, and you do have some cash, book that flight. Come to South Africa to cool down and have and feel the sense of love that we have for you. And I'm sure other parts of Africa is something the same way as us. I cannot speak for them. I can only speak for what I know. And I know my people. I'm talking South Africans. I know us. And I know when you are here, you are in good hands. Yes, we have issues. I've always said that. We've got issues in this country, and we are working on those issues, because we want you, when you come here comfortable enough to approach any of us and then befriend us. Let me tell you something. When you are going, because I've seen some African Americans, I don't know, maybe it's the African American mindset. When you leave the United States or Jamaica, Bahamas, or St. Lucia, or wherever you may be, leave that mentality back there. And when you come here, come with the mindset that I can approach any Black South Africans on the street, and immediately you will strike yourself a friend. And you'll be invited to places like our weddings, even in funerals too. Yeah, of a person you've never met before, but at least you are going to learn about our customs and values when it comes to our dead, and compare that with your own. And let me tell you something. From what I've heard, similar, which goes to show we are one people, except the foundational African Americans and their delusion. Anyways, guys, I thought maybe let me bring this to your attention and show you that what you saw at Chris Brown's concert, it's evidence. It's evidence of everything that I've said here. It'll be nice to see more and more African American, British, Canadian, Caribbean celebrities also looking at, again, I'll speak for South Africa, looking at South Africa as a spot for them to come and hang out. Trust me, we will not disturb you. We are not going to disturb you. Our media is going to respect you. We will acknowledge that you are on our soil, but we'll still respect your privacy, or privacy as you guys call it, as well. It cannot be only us, the ordinary people, that are doing this. Chris Brown has just showed you the way. Come here as well. Do you know, from what I've read, I think it's something that was said by Chris Brown, I'm not sure, but it is some kind of report that I saw on the internet, that Chris Brown said he has never made $10 million in one go. That's how much he made in this concert, these 2 nights. $10 million. I believe he made more than $10 million because there's still merchandise that he sold. And from what I understand, that merchandise was sold out. The $10 million is talking about is of the ticket sale. And there's still other stuff as well that are included in there that probably increased the amount. I would say and safely say, I think he walked away from South African fans with little over $15 million, $15 million. That's what I believe. So if you're an artist, can you please join this train? Join the train and we will support you. Don't only come here for concerts because South Africans will quickly say you are taking, but what are you giving back? And by giving back, I'm not talking in terms of money or philanthropy. We're talking about you just flying to South Africa and relax on one of our beaches, whether in Cape Town, Durban, Gqeberha, or wherever we have an ocean, or even come to Johannesburg. Because your presence here creates jobs. Your presence here, when you eat in a restaurant and you leave a tip, somebody that served you is going to be able to put food on the table of their families. That is what your presence will do, apart from coming to perform. So that is your way of giving back, in as much as we are giving to you as well. I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but other than that, I thought, let me come here and say, you see what I meant? Do you see what I mean? Look at all these visuals that you've been seeing throughout this video. This is us. This is us. And I know it's only one side of the African continent, South Africa. I don't know elsewhere on the continent how you are going to be received as an artist, but you will also make history one way or the other. And I think going forward, any artist at Chris Brown, Beyonce, Rihanna, girl, I think you're going to need 4 nights. My opinion. My opinion, you are going to need 4 nights in this country. In each city you are going to go to in this country. And the major cities that we have in this country, most artists go to is, of course, Johannesburg, Mothership, Durban, Cape Town, Gqeberha. And you may even get away with Mbombela. You may. This is where we have our major stadiums at. And you will fill them up. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. Think about it. And you can tag Rihanna if you can. Hey, girl, come to South Africa. I will buy tickets to all your concerts because I love you. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I don't want to make this video way too long. I just thought, let me come here and show you guys. Let me come and show you our heart. And the best part about it as well, it was not only Black South Africans that love Chris Brown, who are South Africans. White South Africans were there, Indian South Africans were there, and that word that Americans don't like or misunderstand in South Africa, it's a whole nation, colored people. They were there. So the Rainbow Nation was behind Chris Brown. And I'm sure we will also be behind you too as an artist. But not only as an artist, as an ordinary Black person from wherever in the world you come from. And you come to South Africa with good intentions. We only welcome good intended people. And we'll show you love, shower you with it. It will make it difficult for you to go back home. If you got money, you will remain and buy a house. Yeah, that's what you would do. And we are proud of that. And we are proud of you. And we pray for you. Every single day, I and many South Africans that understand what's going on with our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, we pray for you. We pray for your safety. We pray for your prosperity. We pray also for your health. We pray for your mental health. We pray for your children and their children. That's what we do. Other than that, guys, let's see each other a bit later. Please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'm sure I'm going to come back again to just close the year 2024, which has been extremely busy for me in my life. There's so many things that were happening. Oh, so many things. And as a result, I was inconsistent on this channel. Hopefully, in 2025, it's going to be different because there are, of course, a lot of things that are going on out there. We haven't talked about the American election results and my thoughts on that. I just thought, let the dust settle so that when we speak on this, we speak with emotional intelligence and not with emotions that are going to end up us misunderstanding each other. I'm all about comprehension. Foundational Americans, this is not your conversation. Don't insert yourself. You don't recognize us? Cool, that's your choice. But do not, with your delusion, try and come and rebut us. We are on a mission, and this mission is going to be accomplished someday. You bite an elephant, what? How to finish an elephant? It's one bite at a time, right? This is exactly what we are doing. And you are not going to disturb us with the money that your masters pay you to come and say those things that you are going to be saying in my comment section. Yeah. And those of you who also don't like African Americans, please don't come with that check that you get from the people that want to rule and divide us. Don't do that. I've said this before. If you go low, I go lower. If you go below the grave, I take you to hell. That's me. Other than that, guys, see you later. Again, please don't leave the video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Goodbye.